afternoon to you all, and you're welcome to another splendid edition of the program Women's Time. It is a program that comes up to you every 12 o'clock of Wednesdays to 1 p.m. On this program, we're going to be profiling a woman today. She is a woman, and we are going to be talking to her very, very soon. We have her here to educate us on a few things that are in the community and what she is doing to empower other women and children as a whole. She is quite young, but she is passionate about talking to children and little ones to identify their God-given talent at a very teenage age. Good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. On today's program, we're going to be generally supervised by our station boss, Rosin Akaoba. We have Ndango Terence there manipulating the 1001 button to make sure that we have the best of sound quality. Then we have Wanja Cynthia, my co-presenter, saying hi to everyone listening to us this beautiful afternoon. We're going to be taking a musical piece this afternoon, and when we come back, we introduce our guest on today's program and we ride on with the program Women's Time. CBS Radio, and our guest on today's program is TenguSolange Tengu, and so many people call her TenguSolange. She is an entrepreneur, a quality control engineer. She is the co-founder and public relations manager of Kids Hall of Talents Foundation, an association of national and international reputation. So she is here with us this afternoon to share us her experiences in the field of promoting the talents of kids and lots more. Good afternoon to you, Solange.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel Atigi, for that wonderful presentation. Good morning or good afternoon to all of you here in the studio, and good afternoon to the listeners of CBS Radio. It's a privilege for me being here today. And like he rightly said, I'm the co-founder and the public relations of Kids Hall of Talent Foundation, which is an association of national and international board of directors with headquarters in Bangui, Cameroon, aimed at identifying, nurturing, developing, and promoting talents in kids, 13 years and below.
Okay, so why kids?
Why kids? That's a very good question. First of all, because here in Cameroon in particular, or Africa in general, most parents don't believe that talent can put food on the table, or most parents don't believe that talent can go hand in glove with education. For me, for example, I will take myself as an example. While I was growing up, I'm a very talented person in basketball.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So while I was growing up, I didn't even know that I had the talent in me, you know. Mm-hmm. So it was right when I was at the university level that I got forced into playing basketball and into joining the team, because the team was lacking and I had to sign up for sports. And to tell you something, somewhere, I went to sign up for sports, and I didn't plan to sign for basketball. I wanted to sign something easy, something that could give me the easy A grade in sports. But then all the other disciplines were occupied, and it was just basketball left. So I had to sign basketball. And when I went to the field to do the sports, like for the sake of the school and the grades, the coach spotted me and told me that I have to join the team. I'm like, no, I don't want to join the team. I'm here for my school and I have to finish my school. I'm not here for any basketball.
That's true.
So the coach told me, okay, if you don't want to join the team, we will not give you your marks for basketball. I thought it was a joke. And to be honest, he did that.
Okay.
They gave me 0 in sports. So I had to do sports again the next year. So that next year now, I had to join the team. I mean, what will it cost me? So I decided to join the basketball team at the university level. And that is when I really knew that I could play basketball, like in the professional way.
If you had started earlier.
If I had started earlier somewhere, where would I be?
We will not know you on CBS Radio. You could be somewhere outside there.
Well, maybe not. So to round it all up, that is why we are trying to focus on, identifying talents in kids, such that they can be privileged, like more than us, to get to know their talents earlier in life, and then get to grow with it too, together with their education. Because I must point out here that it is true when parents have the right to, be insecure about their kids' following up talents at the young age, because they're not sure that the kids are going to continue with school. When
you can derail them. You can make them to change their way of thinking.
Yes, or to drop school.
To drop from school.
So what the solution to that is just about good mentorship and good structures that could, go along with the kid. That is what we never had. Like, that is what I never had when I was growing up. Like, I didn't have, like, a good mentor that could tell me that, no, you have to go to school and, play basketball. It wouldn't really affect you. You have to do this, do this. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to put that platform where we can get to know more mentors that could, lead these kids through. Yes, so that is why we are focusing on kids.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Thank God for you people. All women are mothers, and saying all this, what you're saying, I know is because you have that motherly heart, and you really want your kids, your relatives' kids, the society kids, to identify their God-given talents at this teenage age, so that they can be better off more when they grow up at our age. Okay, so you identify talents in kids. From what age can you know that this youth is talented, or at what age do you try to source out those kids to bring them together and help them identify their talents?
At what age? If I understand your question somewhere, okay, because I made mention that we are dealing with kids 13 years and below.
Okay, 13
years and below.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right.
So what we do is...
And of both sexes?
Of both sexes, male and female.
Okay.
Boys and girls, 13 years and below.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do is we organize platforms. We look for platforms to identify kids' talents. An example of a platform is just like organizing events for kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so once in a while we organize events for kids such that when we put various activities, like for example, we can have basketball, we can have musical instrument, dancing, etc. So during this event now, we have people around, we have potential sponsors around, we have potential mentors around.
All right.
So we get to identify like the winners of the various activities. Yes. So by identifying them, we register them into our book of records,
mm-hmm.
such that if somebody comes up like, we need a kid, we need to sponsor a kid, this, we will know where to get that kid.
Okay.
Yes, we go to our archives and then we get the kid.
Okay, sometime in point you will tell us some of the activities you've been able to organize with the kids.
Sure, I'll tell you.
Yes.
Let me add to that.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point, when the kid also passes 13 years, like if we identify a kid's talent earlier,
mm-hmm.
which the kid was 13 and below, and then the kid grows up above that age, we get to still work with that kid, The kid could be like a volunteer, working with us in the same house,
mm-hmm.
Training the other younger kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we have events, participating, it also help that kid to build, to grow into independence.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, Solange, during your university school days, I know you have done your professional masters, and by now you must have had lots of experiences in your university school milieu, I beg your pardon, and you could share some of those moments, some of those discouraging moments as a lady, and encourage one or two ladies out there.
Okay. One of the discouraging, I'll start with the discouraging ones, like you said.
Okay.
I made mention of while I was in the university, I got forced into sports.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that was one of the first discouraging moments, because like, I don't want to do this. Why are you forcing me to do this?
That's true.
So I was very discouraged at that point when they gave me a 0,
mm-hmm.
and I had to do the sport the next year. I was very discouraged, but then I said, what will it cost me? Let me just do it.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, it really it played a great part in my life.
Mm-hmm.
It made me to get to meet other people. Sports takes you to places.
Yeah.
Yes. So I would like to say that how I tackle that is how everybody should, tackle a negative impact, for example, like what I had. Because if I just let that slide, maybe I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be, I wouldn't be really inspired to do this.
That's true.
Yeah, like I left out something. I hope I've answered that. Let me not go far.
Okay.
Yes, I left out something. When I was growing up, when I was doing my professional masters,
mm-hmm.
I got to work with Mr. Che Emmanuel. I must mention his name here.
All right.
Yes, he's the chief of Bureau of Sports, MESA.
Mm-hmm.
So he was coordinating Bamenda Kids Basketball.
All right.
Like I said, this association existed 4 or 5 years ago, but with a different name, Bamenda Kids Basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So we got inspired into training kids basketball, Bamenda kids into basketball. So as time went on, we decided to change the scope of the association, like not to limit it just to basketball, but to other talents. So that made us now to partner with other talent promoters, like maybe football, other disciplines like music and so on. So that's how it came about. Thanks to Mr. Chair, who is also the co-founder of Kids Hall of Talent Foundation. I'm not sure he's listening because I have to announce here that the basketball kids of Bamenda our kids, that's Kids Hall of Talent basketball, are the champions of basketball kids in Bamenda, and they will be representing Bamenda in B3.
Okay.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah. That's so wonderful. You have highlighted a lot of those things that you've gone through and some of the things you're still going through. But at the present moment, we know that sometimes things are difficult. As a woman, and as a woman, you may be having some challenges of moving. People may look at you in a different way, and so many people look at the empower women as women that empower women to intimidate. Sincerely, when you are an empowered woman, you intimidate men. I know that so well. And since you are an empowered woman, I know you have been intimidating men in one way or the other. So those are some of the challenges that come with doing this as a woman and all of that. But out of that, I would like to ask you to maybe highlight us some stories you've gotten. You have a very good height. Can someone of my height, I'm of a little height, can someone of my height dare to play basketball? Will I be score a single goal for my entire play when I'm playing?
I will answer you step by step. Okay. I will start from the first point. You made mention of the fact that women like us get intimidated by men. Yeah. Okay, are you intimidated by me? We met too a couple of times, right? Yes. Are you intimidated by me?
I'm an empowered man too, so I cannot be intimidated.
Okay.
I'm an empowered man.
All right.
If I was not, I could have been intimidated.
Okay, after this, I'm going to ask Terence. If our DJ there, I'm going to ask him if he's intimidated by me. Since you're not intimidated by me, it's true, but I wouldn't know. It's normal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're not an empowered man, you'll be intimidated by an empowered lady.
That's it.
Yes, so that's it. So everybody has to empower themselves in order not to be intimidated. Mm-hmm. Yes. So what was the next thing again after that?
So I'm saying my height.
You're not short, Samuel.
Okay.
You're not short. So what about the kids that play? Like the kids here in Bamenda, they use Paco Vita, the field. You know Paco Vita, yes. Right? They use the field, the same field adults playing. So they can jump and shoot. You just have to play with people that are taller than you. Mm-hmm. Yes, they get to compensate for your height. But everybody can play basketball. All right. Yes. No matter the height, because basketball is a game that has different functions. Like people in the team have different functions. Mm-hmm. You could be the one to carry the ball. Mm-hmm. There's somebody who has to be the one to shoot, the taller person. So
Solange, maybe you just tell us how the setup of basketball. In a football match, I know there are 11 players. There is the midfielder, there are the defenders, there are the goalkeeper, and all of that. Maybe you give us a scenario so that someone that is listening to us will really know what this basket thing is and how many players are being made up to form a team, and then how they score the goals and offsides, all of that. You will have all those nitty-gritty, small things, offside, bad game, all of those things.
We do have all that. Mm-hmm. There is a whole lot of details, but I'll just say the main points. I will not bore you with the details. Okay. So in a basketball match, we have 10 players. Mm-hmm. Each team has 5 players. Okay. So in the place of penalty, we have free throw. We call it free throw. Okay. Yes. So when you get a foul, we don't actually call it like a bad game. Mm-hmm. You get a foul, they give you a free throw. Mm-hmm. That's what they call penalty in football. Okay. And then what else? We have a lot of rules in basketball. Offside? No, we don't have offside in basketball.
Okay, you have red cards, yellow cards, something like that.
We don't call it red card. We have when a team, for example, has 5 fouls. If you foul me 5 times, yes, you get to go out. You won't play again. Yes, somebody will replace you. Yeah. So it's not like
somebody will replace you.
Yeah, it's not like a 4 against 5. No, somebody will replace you. Okay. Yes, so you won't play again.
And how in football is 45 minutes for half time, 45 minutes for the second half, and then they may give a prolongation or something if they both teams don't score.
Yeah, in basketball we have quarters.
Okay.
Yes, we have the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, the fourth quarter. Yeah, so each quarter it varies, but the standard, like I say, the average is 10 minutes per quarter. So after 10 minutes, there's a short break. Yes. After 10 minutes again, another short break. So the second 10 minutes, that's the half time now. We have a longer, half period where the players could rest, catch their breath, and then we get back into the third quarter, a short break, and then the final fourth quarter. Okay. So if at the fourth quarter there is a tie, there will be a prolongation. Okay. Extra 5 minutes. That's how it goes.
Wow, that's wonderful.
There's a whole lot of details. The basketball has a lot of rules. If I continue talking here, we'll just get into tomorrow.
Okay, so let's catch our breath by listening to this piece of music coming all the way from our sound engineer.
Okay.
We took the music. Solange was telling us a few things she's been able to accomplish with the kids, how she's going with the kids, and she was sharing her experiences with us at the university level. She was sharing experiences with us on how she's been moving on and all of that. And now we're going to be talking to Solange on public speaking, how she brings up these youths, these kids from the ages of 13 and below, to see how they can engage themselves in public speaking. It is true that I met a lot of young people who are unable to express themselves. Even to introduce oneself is very difficult for so many people. They feel shy in talking in public and all of that. But Solange is here as an empowered woman to throw us light on how she's bringing up youths in this aspect of public speaking.
Thank you very much. Welcome back, dear listeners of CBS Radio. Like somewhere rightly said, Kids Hall of Talent Foundation is not just about basketball. We've been talking too much about basketball. So right now, we'll just give you what we have to say about the other activities like public speaking. Yeah, public speaking is very important in the society, don't you think? Like you mentioned, just being able to introduce yourself rightly, because when you meet somebody, I mean, the first 5 seconds, the person gets the impression about you already. The person concludes on who you are by just listening to you speak for the first 5 seconds.
That's true.
So if you can't really introduce yourself well or speak well, and then there is a problem. So we decided to take up a challenge. When someone, I like to correct you on one thing. When you're talking, don't say she, say they. Because Kids Hall of Talent Foundation is a whole family. Like, we do things together. We train the kids together. It's not just about me. So, yes. So we have about 6 kids that we are training right now that we have a hold of. Like, we train them on public speaking. So we have been able to come up with a concept for a married couple. Yeah. Marriage couples, yes. So people who are getting married, for example, we get to evaluate these kids on occasions like weddings. Yes. So if, let me say, a couple is getting married, they get to maybe invite us. We will go with a couple of kids whom we have trained to, entertain them by giving them advice, on how to go about, like, the kids pose as a married couple who have been married for years, and they're trying to advise the newly wedded couple. So it's very important because nowadays, I will speak for myself, an adult really hardly inspires me these days. Like, if I'm getting married, for example, and then an adult comes and is telling me that, okay, love your wife, give your wife food money, or they're telling me, the woman, like, cook your husband good food. It's like, I've been hearing that from many adults, like, maybe I know you and you don't do that. Maybe I know you, the man talking, and you don't give your wife food money. I'll be like, so why are you telling us now? Meanwhile, you're not even doing the same thing. But when a kid comes up and is like saying that in a serious way, like somebody who is married, it's different. Like the feedback we've had from couples whom we have got in contact with them, with the kids, they're like, no, they have a different experience. Like when the kids talk to them,
Yes.
It's different. They get to obey that when they get to their homes and they want to do something. They be like, remember the kid that said this? Yeah, it's more.
A kid advising the parent.
Yes.
Can you just imagine how
It
it looks
sticks.
like?
Yeah, so we have come up with a concept, and we have so many. We've been to so many weddings with the kids, but we have one video that we have put on online on YouTube.
Yeah,
so
I watched that video and I was very amazed.
Okay, that's great. So if you want to watch it, you could just go to YouTube. You type Kids HOT Foundation.
Okay.
HOT, Kids HOT Foundation. You will get to our YouTube channel. There's the video there. You can watch it for yourself, and it will change you. If you're already married, it will change you. If you're preparing to get married, it will change you. Same thing.
Okay. Solange, so you are talking to mostly, especially women, even though both sexes listen to the program. It's for both men and women, but focus here is on women. Okay. And a lot of women are listening to this program, and they would like to really know how are you a mother?
Important question. I'm a mother. Ask me why. Don't ask me like I'm a mother, not like the mother you're thinking about right now, but I'm a mother because I have kids that I'm taking care of.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. But to say I'm a mother that I have a kid, that I've put birth to a kid, not yet.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's why I was driving to.
Yeah.
So the question is, you see, you are still quite young, and you are not yet a mother, and you are talking about kids. What is surprising to so many people listening to us that you will be talking about kids when you don't yet have a kid and you don't know.
That's true, Samuel. It's a very sensitive topic. Like just the word kid is very sensitive. People will be like, what is she talking about? Yeah, that is very true. But in the beginning of the program, I made mention that as a kid, I didn't have that.
That's true.
Yes,
true.
We can't go back to saying that again. I mean, some people are joining us right now, so I might just say it like I said in the beginning of the program to those that are just joining us. While I was growing up, I didn't really, have that opportunity to get to identify my talent earlier in life. So I decided, as I grew up, I grew older, I decided that I was going to, train kids in what I've identified in myself, which is basketball. I was going to train kids in that light. And also, we decided now to expand into identifying kids' talent in other domains. So that is where the kids concept is from, to tell you that. But then, like every woman out there, let me say, a majority of women out there, I aspire having my own kids. Yes. That's I'm like practicing.
Yeah.
You see, it's like a practicing platform for me. That's why helping the society, making kids grow, in a dignified way and into great leaders. I'm also practicing on being a mother.
Okay, yes. So Solange, you have a role model. Who is your role model? Who do you admire most? Maybe anyone?
That's a tough question, but it's very easy at this point of my life. Like 2 years ago, I wouldn't say it was an easy question, but right now, my role model is my mom.
Okay.
That's
and
my top
why your mom?
Role model. Because she's my mom, someone. Because she's my mom. She is a very hardworking lady. She's a very strong lady. I mean, at her age, she is so young and energetic that I always doubt myself, like, when I get to her age, will I be this strong?
Okay.
So she inspires me a lot, Yeah. So that's my top role model.
All right. Okay, that's nice. Okay, we are moving on with the program. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, it is CBS Radio, FM 101.0, and the program on air is Women's Time, a program that airs on this radio station on Wednesdays, and from 12 to 1 p.m., and the rebroadcast comes up to you Fridays. If you miss out any edition of the program, maybe you catch it up on Friday again from 12 to 1 to make sure you get a full dose of what we're discussing today. And our guest on the program is TenguSolange, and she is a very powerful lady. She is a quality control engineer. Maybe you tell us what you mean by quality control engineer for those of us who don't know that, to really have a knowledge on that.
Somewhere, I wasn't going to touch that, but I'm forced to touch that right now.
Okay.
Because when I go somewhere, I go for a specific one thing at a time. But I'll just say that, quality control. Yeah, that is my professional master's degree is in quality control.
Okay.
Yes, it's the most recent degree that I have that I had in Gaundiri in NSAI. I don't know if you've heard of NSAI.
No, I've not.
Yeah, so quality control is just about it's a broad domain, it covers everything like in the industrial sector. We have to do with environment, we have to do with food, we have to do with service companies.
Okay.
So, for example, in food and beverages companies, we have quality. When you hear the word quality, it rings a bell, right?
Yeah.
So it's a set of procedures that we are trained that when we go to a company, we have to do this, we have to do this and that. So we need that each company, each food company, each environmental company, each service company needs a quality control department. Okay. So we are like everywhere.
Okay.
Yes. So if you want to know more about that, I'm available at the end. I will give you my contacts.
Okay.
Yes, because I'm also a quality control consultant. Yes, I'm independent, like entrepreneur is there on my profile, right?
Yes.
Yes, so I'm an independent quality control consultant.
So you're really an empowered lady. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Okay. So how your field of basketball? How is your father seeing that, or your immediate family? How are they handling that when you started and they sent you for schooling, you went to school, and later on you started another one that is basketball? How did they see it as a lady?
It's not somewhere. I'll correct your question. I know it's your question, but I'll correct it. Okay, how you should have put it is, how do they see me, finishing as a quality control engineer and then coming into Kids Hall of Talent Foundation?
No, I want to go back to basketball.
Okay. No. I would not really say that my life has been all about basketball since I left University of Boya. I wouldn't say that. Because it's just like when I get into an institution, they get to spot me and they get to pick me. Yes. So I left University of Boya. I went to University of Ngaoundiri. They spotted me and they picked me. I joined the team. So after I graduated from University of Ngaoundiri, that was in 2016, around December 2016. I haven't been like playing in any team.
Okay.
You understand why I was like, yes. So after I graduated, I got to doing my internship in my quality control field. So during that time now, I started working, or I continued working with Mr. Che Emmanuel with the Bamenda Kids basketball thing.
Yeah. So I'm asking, before you left for University of Boya, your parents had not seen you with any tennis that you're going to play basketball or even to watch. But when you came back, you started going for sporting, going to watch, going to train. How did they? How did they see it? How did they handle that? What were their feedbacks?
Okay, their feedbacks. It wasn't much of a big deal because I did well in school.
Okay.
Yes, I'm proud to say that.
Okay.
I did well in school. University of Boya, well. University of Ngaoundiri, good. So.
Right.
Me going to play basketball, it's just like my dad, for example. I hope he's listening to me right now. He used to tell me, like, you have to get fit, you have to be active, you don't have to get fat, Look at me, I'm not fat, look at your mom. So when I go to play sports, it's a good thing for them. Okay. So far as I'm doing well in school, they keep seeing me. They watched me one time in the university game on the TV playing basketball, and it was okay. Yes, because you do the two, you're fine.
Oh, that's nice. So Solange, let's visit our sound engineer again and take a piece of music, and we come back. And when we come back, we go to another level of the program. We take our listeners to a different dimension of the program.
Church boy, sad song. It's another one. Boogie down. Yo, 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 yo. Baba God, you today do for me. Now waiting I go do to make your heart jolly. I give you my money. You say you don't want my money. Try on my chachi.
Thank you, and you welcome back, dear listeners of CBS Radio. It is still Women's Time going on the program, and we are still with TenguSolange. She is a quality control engineer, co-founder and public relations manager of Kids Hall of Talents Foundation here in Bamenda, Cameroon, with headquarters in Mbengui. Yeah, Solange, earlier on when we were discussing off the mic, I discovered a scenario, a scene where you, some time ago, you prepared a granite and you wanted to go sell. Something happened in the house. Maybe you describe that scene in the house, what happened in the house and all of that.
Thank you, Samuel. Wait, that was supposed to be a secret. Do I have to discuss?
I want us to make a listener know that you are succeeding like this. It didn't just go well, but there were some times that there were some hurdles, there were some stocks that came your way and storms and all of that.
Okay, thank you very much. So we'll let them know, right? All right, like he earlier said, there's a scenario I discussed with him while I was growing up. Like, it's not like I was born with a silver spoon. No, nothing like that. But while I was growing up, there's one time, it's a long time ago, I think 15 years ago, or more than even there. So one time during the holidays, because I'm always like having that spirit to go out there and hustle, you know, to go and during the holiday I want to meet my friends and do this. So I wanted to sell, I don't know, granules. There was one time it was pancakes. Yes. So I wanted to sell granules during the holiday, but my dad was like, granules? He wasn't really like, okay, that I should do it. I know he's listening right now. You'll be laughing. So I prepared granule one time and I went, like, I wanted to go and sell. I was going out and he called for me and he bought all the granules. There were some guests in the house watching football. Like, he bought all and then shared to them. Okay. To me, at that first time, I was happy, you know, like they're buying, but I wanted to go out there and sell it. Okay. You know, I wanted to go and meet my friends and have the experience, you know, to sell granules. And so he bought it all. I don't know his intentions, but later on, he got to tell me about, like, you know, he doesn't want me to get too attached to money, like to sell at that age, and you know,
to be exposed
to be exposed out there, like as a lady, you know. Okay.
So, but you were exposed later on because you went to the universities.
That is it. I'm coming to that. So to step up now, like when I became a bit independent, like away from them, because after that I lived with my uncle in Bamenda. I lived with my uncle in Bamenda, and he had a shop, so I always go there and sell with him every time. Like every time I have a free space, I would go and sell with him at the shop. While I was doing that, was my secondary school, and then I later went to high school in St. Bede's. That was a boarding school, which was another very challenging part of my life because it was more closed compared to how I grew up. Yes, every time with my family and friends around. So we just keep that. But then, one major issue I like to point out is during my university. My university experience, it wasn't that easy because, you know, as a woman, you go out there, you are so exposed, you know, boys around, your parents are far there, your other family is far there. So what helped me to go through that was because I'm somebody who has a very strong willpower. Okay. Yes, I have a very strong willpower. If I decide that I wouldn't do this, no matter what. Even if a friend comes and tells me that, oh, let's do this, I wouldn't do it if I decide that I won't do it. Okay. Yes, I don't even need, like, maybe my parents to tell me that don't do this. Okay. I need myself to tell me. Okay. Sometimes my parents tell me do this, and I'm like, I won't do this, and I don't do it for my own good. Okay. Yes, but I try to, you know, obey them in a context that, because the Bible says we should obey our parents. That's true. Then I try to obey them. I try to match my goals with their own and then try to make it even. So what I'd like to advise maybe anybody out there is to always stay close to your family. Because I'm a family person. Anywhere I go, while I was in Boya, I had to look for people around, you know, like people who are from Meta, people who that. So I have to go to associations, like to, you know, mingle around, such that when you have an issue, you could easily link to somebody that knows where you're coming from. Okay. You could easily link to somebody who knows where you're coming from. Like, yes. Because that keeps you away from going astray. Because you go to a strange place. Like when I was in Gaundary too, I meet people who are from Meta, people who are from Bamenda, people who left University of Boya, so that
are Holy One. Walked upon the sea, raised the dead,